Hey guys, Joe here. I shaved, don't worry about it. As you see from the title above you, unless you're in full screen mode, and then it's still above you. And this video is titled, The Time I Spent a Week Drunk, plus a Deaf Cat. Let me explain. In a previous video, I explained to you guys that I have a broken tooth, but I never went more into it. I was just listing the injuries I have. And the broken tooth came about because I have, or had, impacted wisdom teeth. Now, a very large number of people get this condition. It's not uncommon. Your wisdom teeth are superfluous. They're not necessary. They're usually suggested to be pulled at adulthood if they're impacted, which means they're coming in sideways versus going vertically. And that's what happened to me. And if you look at a lot of television and film stars, you will see that the lower teeth are usually not lined up, even if the top ones are. And the number one reason for that, or the explanation for that, there's no like number two reason, the explanation for that is that the mandible, the lower jaw, has a lot more movement and play in it, because that's obviously the part that moves, unless you're Canadian with your flappy skulls. South Park reference, sorry. But when the teeth come in impacted, they're shoving all the other teeth forward, and the mandible, being much more flexible, will shift, and that's the jaw's way of trying to relieve the pressure without breaking all your teeth. Well, unfortunately, one of my teeth did break, and the wisdom tooth broke as well. So I dealt with that for a year, about a year, with the broken wisdom tooth, because it didn't hurt. I didn't get it pulled because it didn't hurt, and our insurance at the dealership was really crap. So I didn't want to go to the hospital or the dentist and pay $1,000 when I wasn't in pain. Tip for you guys: get your teeth pulled, or your kids. If your kids have impacted wisdom teeth, get them pulled as soon as they're old enough. It'll save a lot of problems in the future. But I was working at the dealership one day, and all of a sudden I felt like somebody had tasered my jaw. Literally, like somebody took a taser and just went right into my jaw. It put me on my knees, because obviously I wasn't expecting that kind of a pain out of nowhere, but it came, and I damn near passed out. So I actually was in so much pain I didn't even drive home. I actually called and got a ride, and I went home. Actually went to the emergency room because I was like crying in pain, and grown men can cry. It's totally cool. I have noticed I don't cry out in pain, but I do cry if I'm in pain, so that'll tell you something about me. He's a wuss! But we went to the emergency room, and they couldn't do anything about it because their dentists weren't around, and they told me to go to my dentist, and quite honestly, I'd been to him like twice. I didn't care for the dentist. I don't, whatever. Most people don't. It's the way we are as a society. But we eventually went to the dentist, but he didn't have a surgical opening because I needed all four pulled out, and there was no way they were going to do it to me while I was awake. Absolutely no way. I refused. I said, no, you're not putting drill bits, hooks, knives, whatever, into my face while I can see you doing it, because that's one of my biggest problems. If I'm not in control of those blades, I have a problem with it. I could do it if I needed to. You give me numbed up and give me the knives, I'll frickin' cut my own face off. But you can't do it while I'm awake. So unfortunately, that was on a Wednesday. The earliest they had was like a Monday or a Tuesday. I can't remember exactly which day it was. It's a long time ago. So they sent us home. They gave me like a clove oil type thing that was supposed to help with nerves. Wasn't helping. They didn't give me opioids because they don't work on me. And I told them that. I said Vicodin doesn't work, Oxy doesn't work, hydrocodone doesn't work, Narco. I don't even know if they had Narco 20 years ago. But none of that worked. So I had this rub that I was supposed to put on the tooth to try to numb it, and that wasn't working. And I was walking around the house, and I found a bottle of whiskey. Well, I didn't find it. It was just sitting out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to drink this bottle of whiskey. I'm going to get drunk and see if that takes away the pain. And I don't drink. At that point, I had stopped drinking because the summer before, I'd gotten a timeout at a drinking party where the year before that, somebody had pooped himself and didn't get a timeout. And to this day, some 15 years later, nobody will tell me what I did at that party. Obviously, it wasn't a felony, but could have been. I don't know. But anyways, the point was I wasn't drinking anymore. So I got drunk. Shit-faced drunk. and I spent the next 5 days completely drunk. During that time, I was bored out of my mind. Obviously, I couldn't drive anywhere. I was, drunk. You don't drive somewhere while you're drunk. So, wandering around the house, we had a deaf cat. If you have an all-white cat that has blue eyes, absolutely no color. If they have even a spot, they're not going to be deaf. But all white with blue eyes, they're 100% of the time going to be deaf. And that was the case with Kitty Cat. So, Seth was his name, by the way. I didn't name him, my brother did. And he would be in the back porch just kind of like pawing at the door. And he was never allowed to go outside because being deaf, he couldn't hear a bird or another predator coming at him. But I was like, you know what? We got this little doggo harness. I'm going to take this little bastard for a walk. So I leashed him up, took him outside, and he took to it like that. It's very dry in here. He took to it like a duck to water. He's checking trees, he's looking underneath stuff, he's wandering around, pulling on the leash. He was like a little puppy. So I'm drunk off my ass. I'm wandering around. One of my neighbors was standing outside. He's like, "What you doing?" I said, "Walking a deaf cat. What's it look like?" Because I'm drunk. I didn't care what anybody heard. And I walk him around the block. And that was our pattern for the next 3, 4, 5 days. Once a day. I'm drunk. He wants to go for a walk. He's standing at the back door pawing at it. So I leash him up, take him for a walk. He got addicted to going outside after that. It was hilarious. He loved to go outside. He also was not afraid of water or thunderstorms or lightning, because one time it was thunderstorming and I threw him out on the back deck. He just stood there going. But give him a balloon. He's dead now, as you can tell from the third person past tense. All of our animals tended to die young. Makes me sad. Oh well. But, yeah, I started walking a deaf cat around the block. And it became a habit. And even up until before he died, he used to go out to the back porch and paw on the door, wanting to go outside, And he would yell, obviously, because he was deaf. He didn't care if anybody was not deaf, not deaf, not deaf. He would just yell. So they would every now and then have to take him outside. And, yeah, that is the story of how I spent almost a week drunk and the deaf cat. So, if you have any comments, leave them down below. If you think I should stay shaved like this, let me know. I don't think so. Although, ever since my face cleared back up, that was a horrible 6 months. I've been feeling a lot better with that. And maybe I will keep it shaved. But, it's a pain in the ass to shave every day. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your animal stories. If you had a dumb cat, weird cat, stupid cat, all in love. And, or dog, or a bird, ferret, badger, whatever you might have had. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, watch another video. Hands open, so that's not what you think. And as always, I'll talk to you later.